evening, everyone. Welcome to the town board meeting of January 19th, 2023. I'd like to ask Councilwoman Luciani to say something right now if she wants to start the meeting for us tonight.
I'd like to have everybody stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance and then have a moment of silence for Gloria and Susan Rana's family, just to remember them all right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so before I start my regular order of business with public comment, I have something I'd like to read. This afternoon I submitted a letter to the New York Association of Local Government and Records Officers. It was sent on behalf of Desiree Potvin, Woodbury Town Clerk, President of the New York Association of Local Government Record Officers. And this is my statement to the Algo members. On January 1st, 2022, when I became Woodbury Town Supervisor, I made the decision to appoint Desiree Potvin as the Deputy Supervisor. This decision was made based on the level of experience, knowledge, and integrity Desiree has exemplified, and I knew would be brought to the position during my term. Wednesday, January 18th, an email was sent to select representatives of the New York Association of Local Government Records Officers making disparaging statements regarding Desiree Potvin. Desiree Potvin's integrity, character, and ability should never have been questioned. Desiree operates with utmost integrity. Desiree is approachable by all residents and employees. Desiree's credibility and character has been tarnished by a resident in this community who currently holds a library trustee position. This overt act to smear an elected official and an honorable person's reputation is intolerable. It is imperative to me as a town supervisor to make these accusations known to all who are present here and who will view the town board video once posted. Desiree Potvin is an elected official with over 20 plus years as the town clerk and was the recipient of the 2021 New York Town Clerk of the Year Award, which she was nominated by her peers, colleagues, and elected officials. I thank you in advance for your time and attention to this correspondence. Respectfully, Thomas Burke, Town of Woodbury Supervisor. So thank you for that.
Well said.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on now to public comment on agenda items. Does anybody have a comment from the public? From the back row?
I'll reserve my comments.
Good? Okay. I'll move on to administrative business. Acceptance of the minutes. Can I have a motion and a second to receive the minutes of the meeting held January 5th, 2023?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Okay, any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the abstract. Desiree, could you please read the abstract?
Yes. Abstract number 2 contains vouchers 230041 through 230138 and totals $585,737.82.
Okay, thank you, Desiree. Can I have a motion and a second to approve abstract number 2?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Budget modification for the 2022 budget. Desiree, could you please read that budget mod?
Sure, there are 5 this evening. The first is for buildings and grounds by increasing A1620.452 vehicle maintenance by $425 and decreasing A1620.425 tools by $425. Second is also for buildings and grounds by increasing A1620.402 electricity by $2,214.81, decreasing A1620.475 animal shelter repairs by $2,214.81. The next is for the police department by increasing B3120.100 police salaries by $40,952.01, decreasing B3120.101 compensated absences by $8,603.21, B 3120.102, Estelano's salaries by $9,330.65. B 9015.800, police retirement by $23,435.68. And increasing B 3120.402, electricity by $417.53. The next is for the senior center by increasing A 7620.405, activities by $300.50. A 7620.411, office supplies by $19. A 7620.414, trips by $899.89. Decreasing A 7620.400, contractual expenses by $267. A 7620.403, heating oil gas by $599.94. A 7620.469, kitchen food by $352.45. And the last is for the police by increasing B 3120.463, software maintenance consultant by $1,690, decreasing B 3120.418, radio rental by $1,600.
Okay, thank you, Desiree. As we know, most of these modifications for this evening is the usual ones entertained this time of the year, at this time, as the fiscal year was winding down. I'd like to note one for the police department, which has an increase to salaries is due to the addition of the police presence at the John P. Burke Pool during the summer season. So with that said, can I have a motion and a second to approve the modifications?
Can I just ask, so with the animal shelter repairs and stuff, like decreasing, how are we doing that? Is that anything like necessary that we need done?
The animal shelter?
Yeah, like,
No,
Where?
there was no, there
no
was,
repairs that needed to be done, so they're just.
as of right now, there isn't, but there is going to be some extensive, work we're preparing to do hopefully in the near future this year. We're incorporating the animal shelter with the police department, and, so we have a lot of ideas with also the buildings and grounds, so we'll see how that, goes, as the year goes along.
Okay.
But, we'll all be part of that. It's, and I'm glad that the police department and buildings and grounds, we know they're taking a hands-on approach, which is great. It's awesome. Okay? So I need a motion and a second. To approve.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Okay, and Tim seconds. All right,
Very good.
any other discussion? Good?
Yeah.
Okay, motion carried. The next, item is the appointment of a part-time animal dog control officer. I need a motion and a second to appoint Diane Sherman to the position of part-time, up to 29 hours per week, animal dog control officer at an hourly rate of $18.55 per the UPSI 22 pay schedule, grade 1, with a start date of January 23rd, 2023. Let me just mention before I say any discussion right now with the animal control, I'd like to announce, and I'm happy to announce that Sarah, who's there with us now, is expecting, so she's happy about that, and I was excited for her too, so that should be, she's saying August. And with Cameron out, with her newborn, and we have Sam and August there, and now Diane, would be a great addition.
I'll make a motion.
Any second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried, thank you.
Councilman Clark, I just wanna make sure, cause I couldn't hear properly, and I wanna make sure I get it accurate. Did you abstain from the budget?
Abstained, yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, just thank you for clarifying.
Okay, the next one is the appointment to the library board. The board has requested a joint meeting to be held with the library board on February 2nd to discuss and hopefully resolve numerous issues. After discussion with Attorney McKay at the last meeting, I was under the impression that an appointment to the library board of trustees may not be something the town board is permitted to do, which is the reason that it was tabled at the last meeting. I also thought the town board wanted to discuss the issue with the library board when the joint meeting is held. However, Kate, would you like to discuss it any further tonight?
Not right now.
Okay, so, that's the reason why we had tabled it, so for tonight, we could have, further discussion on it, and we'll have a scheduled meeting for February 2nd. Okay, thank you. Old business, I'm gonna change order number 30 for the John P. Burke pool renovation. Can I have a motion and a second to authorize myself to sign change order 30 for the John P. Burke pool renovation project totaling $21,485.09 for miscellaneous electrical work to incorporate the well into the irrigation system. I'd like to ask Joe, if you don't mind, if you could just step up. I know it's a little bit out of order with that, but maybe you could explain a little bit more for us and the public. And then you can stay up there.
Rest of the night?
No, just for two.
Yeah, when we decided to put sod down, so we put the irrigation system in, they had to put a controller and all the other stuff that goes with it, so everything would go on timers and stuff. So we had to get the electrician to upgrade over by the stage, all the electrical stuff, so that's what that is for. It's for that irrigation system, so everything runs on timers and they know when to shut off and turn back on. So that's what the $21,000 is for.
Is that button, is it on?
Yeah.
Just hold it down. There you go.
Hello?
Say that
Yeah,
all
oh,
over.
yeah, sorry. I don't have to say it all over again, do I?
No, I think they're good. Alright, so with that, do we have any questions for Joe, anything? Okay, so I'm gonna need, a motion and a second to authorize that.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. The next one, I needed a motion and a second to authorize myself to sign change order 1 for this CCD fiscal year 2021 senior center door project totaling $6,000 for the additional concrete sidewalk removal and replacement and the addition of the ADA tactile warning pads. So I thought maybe Joe, you can explain that because I knew you were there.
When the county came down, they did all the specs. There was no specs for when you walk into the library, the front door to the left, the door for the side door for the senior center. So you're getting all new concrete there. So, you know, we decided that that's not gonna look right, so that's what that's for, it's for that change. And if you go into the front of the library, they got that rubber pad there, that was never in the document, so that's what that change order is for. That's what the $6,000 is for.
And we're also, Joe, elaborate a little bit on the 2 doors that were not done.
The 2 doors there's 2 doors in the senior center, the side door and one of the back doors that we are getting bids on to make everything all nice, you know, everything's gonna be the same. That hasn't come back to us yet, so that's in the bids whenever the guy, you know, gets it to us, but, it takes a little while, cause it takes a while to get all the material and everything, so hopefully we get that bids in the near future, so everything will be all the same. So, that's what that's gonna happen there.
Does anybody have any questions regarding that? I know that everyone's very happy and pleased with the project that was done, so I'm absolutely excited about the doors. It's good. Okay, thanks, Joe. I need a motion and a second to authorize that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. New business. Senior citizens exemption mailing requirement. On December 23rd, the governor signed into law a new requirement that towns must send to all senior citizens eligible for a property tax exemption a second copy of the notice 30 days prior to the filing deadline. I have been working with Assessor Julie Rose, and it was decided it would be most cost-effective to engage the services of a processing company at a cost of less than $3,000 to perform the service. This is something that, when it came down from the governor, not only does senior citizens, that they benefit from this, but the governor has stated that the mailing must go out to every resident of Woodbury, in the state, in Woodbury here. So this is something that's gotta go out to over 3,600 people. It had to be done by the end of the month. So it was not something that we could conceivably do, in the office. So there is a company that was willing to do it, so we have to go forward with this, so everybody can get it before the 27th or 28th of January. So that's why, okay?
Yep.
Alright, let's see. I think that's good. Next item, extra item, the annual accounting of the records, as required pursuant to section 62 of town law, was completed January 18th, 2023. I would like to acknowledge Councilman Edsel, he's not here tonight, in getting this task completed. I would also, like to thank all the department heads, the records that they've done. I know that, this year Tyler and I did it, last year Tyler and Councilwoman Luciani did it, and I think, Kate, you could even add that the work that the department heads have done, all of them, to do that job, and the way they present it,
It was amazing.
it's very well done. So they did a great job again this year, so thank you to all for that. Okay, so with that said, we'll move on to department reports and committee minutes. Yes,
Can I, wanna bring this up there?
yeah, well, I'm gonna, when I go, everyone has an opportunity
Oh,
to give
gotcha,
comments.
okay,
Yeah.
alright.
We'll try not to open. Alright, so, we'll move on to the, supervisor's report, December 2022. Desiree, can you read that, please?
I can. The supervisor's report for December 2022 has receipts totaling $550,370.61 and disbursements totaling $1,458,980.04.
Can I have a motion and second to approve the report as read?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay, thank you. Any discussion? Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, carried, alright. The next is the town clerk's report for December 2022, we're in receipt of that. Also, animal control report for December 22, police communications report, buildings and grounds report, parks and recreation committee minutes, police commission minutes, no December meeting was held. Library director's report, December 2022, library board minutes, December 27th, 2022, beautification committee minutes, no December meeting was held. And the budget versus actual, December 2022, it will not be finalized until fiscal year 2022, records are closed. So we'll have that on the next report. Okay? Alright, so with that being said, I'm gonna go out to the public. Does any members of the public have any comments they would like to make at this time? Let's start with that.
Quick question, Desiree, how many years have you been the clerk for Woodbury?
I was hired as deputy town clerk in April of 1997. I was appointed town clerk in January of '99, and I ran for my first election the end of that year and started my first term in January of 2000.
Thank you, I just want to be very clear in what numbers I used. I've known Desiree for a very long time. I started out as her mother's friend through Women of Woodbury. Desiree and I met under the circumstances which I'm not gonna go into.
You can say it, my father died.
When your dad died, and you were impressed with what I did for you and your family. And there's been no question in my mind ever of her integrity as deputy clerk and town clerk. I've learned an awful lot from Desiree over the years. She's been my mentor, she's been my secretary for beautification, she's been my best friend. Whoever this person was, Supervisor Burke, who did this letter to whomever, I guess I should have to foil it, should be ashamed of themselves. Everyone in this room knows that her integrity, Desiree's integrity, is above reproach. I am saddened to hear what you had to write tonight, and I'm only just finding this out from you reading this letter. I'm just totally upset with this. She has always done everything above board. She's always correct in what she does. And I don't know if all the board members are aware, you never approve her minutes. You accept her minutes. She puts more in her minutes than are ever deserving in her minutes. All you have to have is motions, and other pertinent information, bills paying, whatever. She's taught me how to do my minutes as the secretary and chair of the beautification committee. You never ever have to approve her minutes. Is there a little error once in a while? She corrects it and she takes care of it. And for anyone to have done this to her, shameful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the back row?
My name is Thomas Powell, I live on Oakland Avenue, and, I know that in front of the village board is a local law that's gonna start to affect the, short-term rental situation in town as far as Airbnbs, that's what I was told. Where do you, as a board, stand on that? And how is that gonna affect the taxes that the motels, I have nothing to do with motels, but their residents, they gotta charge people that rent the rooms a tax for being there. Does the Airbnb's gonna start collecting the tax for when they do short-term rental? And if not, I wanna know if the town's gonna approach to the village board about, some kind of compensation for the town on these, people that are investing in homes here and renting out to God knows who, all right? And as a grandfather, I have concerns of who's gonna be renting these homes in this town, what kind of background is gonna be done. I know I went to the village, but the police chief's here, comes to town board meetings, I didn't see him at the village meeting. Another thing that I'd like to know is what is the final cost for the pool? For the John Burke pool? And the lighting outside the building here is horrendous. I mean, I know we only rent here, but can't the landlord of this building do something about the exterior lighting, especially in the parking lot? It's darker here than any place else. I know they have street lights out there, but isn't there or some kind of lighting control that should be adhered to for a public, building? I didn't look into it yet, but I could, so I'm just curious.
Okay, thank you for your comments. As far as the lighting, we'll start with the lighting. This is something that, we have gone to the ownership of the building to discuss. We're working with them on that. We would like to see that improve, especially now with the next couple of months coming, with the ice and the weather. So it is something with all the departments that work here, between the assessor's office, the town clerk's office, we have tax collector here, people are gonna come here to, pay their taxes. We have the buildings and grounds, the parks that share, space here, the supervisor's office. So I understand what you're saying, and we are aware of it, and we're speaking with them about that to improve the lighting. So thank you for bringing that up. As far as the pool is concerned, to date, we have, the cost to date is $3,797,597.81.
Okay.
Okay? Now, as far as the police department is concerned, yes, the police department, they come here to our meetings, and I thank you for acknowledging that. They're code enforcement and building enforcement. When this issue presents itself to me, I will take care of it, I will work with it, I will work with the board, with the building department, which works through the village, and we'll work cohesively together, in regarding to the
But
Airbnbs.
But it's set to be, voted on the 23rd of this month. So I mean,
Yeah,
Brendan, you were at the last meeting, and you heard that.
Yep.
I mean, there was nothing put out there to the public in general about that they were putting this law in effect, which for the last 10, 15 years, they didn't, the ruling in the town was it didn't exist. There was no Airbnb supposed to be in Woodbury. And with the addition of all the other motels that are coming into town, how do you justify letting people have short-term rentals, not collecting a tax for that? And then having these new motels or hotels, whatever you wanna call them, open up and then start charging those people that use them. That's crazy. It's not right. Not that I'm, with either or, all right?
Just to clarify, cause I wanna make sure that the information is correct, the village board public hearing, not necessarily to vote on the law. Whenever a law is proposed, the
Okay.
public has the opportunity to comment and speak on said law. The public hearing of the village board is scheduled for February 23rd.
Okay, but there's
They-
nothing that's been given out, sent out to the residents, put in the newspaper as far as the notification, that's
So,
happening.
so the law is in the introductory phase right now, as they said, they introduced the local law at the last meeting. It gets forwarded to the planning board of the village building department, the county planning department, for them to review and submit comments. Changes may then be made, and then the state law requires that a final version be on the desk of the village board no less than 7 days prior to the hearing date, which coincidentally will be when the notice is published in the newspaper. If that doesn't happen, then the public hearing can be open, but no action can be taken because it didn't adhere to that requirement. So if comments aren't back in time, and if that isn't taking place, the village board could very well extend the public hearing date to a different date. But until that law is in final format, again, 7 days, I believe that's accurate with all governments in the state of New York, to the best of my knowledge, which apparently I've been told is pretty good. It'd be 1 week before that date, when the notice will be in the newspaper, the law will be posted on the village's website, and the notice will also be posted on the village's official bulletin board. But it is a public hearing, so you can come to that meeting, you can state your concerns, and the village board may not adopt it, just like last year they had, public hearings on local laws that they did not adopt because the public was not in favor of said local laws.
Thank you, Desiree.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, just one other thing, for the, I know you're putting in this change order for sprinklers for the thing. Are they gonna be, will sprinklers be used on a rainy day or a rainy week? I mean, if they're on a timer, are they gonna come on when they're not needed, Tom?
Well, fortunately for us, we have, with the buildings and grounds and the parks department that we have under Joe Gianzaro, our staff is there on a daily basis, even during the winter months. So when that timer is set, they regulate it and they monitor it.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, next.
Good evening, Rachel Bruce, Highland Mills. First off, I just wanted to thank the board for the opportunity, at the December meeting, December 15th, I think, meeting, I was appointed deputy tax collector. I want to thank you all for the opportunity. It's been going really well so far, and I look forward to continuing to serve the public for the next few months while this position lasts. But secondly, the reason I come here tonight is I want to bring attention to an issue, which you may already be aware of. And that is, it pertains to the strip of land between Route 6, starting at the junction of, I believe it's 293, and going all the way to the roundabout, which is all within the town of Woodbury. As you all know, there was no cell service there. It's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I want to bring it to your attention if it hasn't already. If God forbid there's some kind of accident or somebody needs help, unless someone drives by, I can imagine it's probably very difficult to call for help. And if the board has not already begun doing this or been in talks in any way, is there any way that perhaps in conjunction with the police department, Chief Watson, could work with the Palisades Interstate Parkway to maybe install call boxes or something to make it a little bit easier for people to call for help? It's a very dangerous road. People take that turn by the lakes very fast, and I don't even want to know what, potentially how many lives could be saved if there's some way to call more directly. So perhaps it would help save some lives. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rachel, thank you very much, and I'm glad you're here with us working, that's great, working with tax collectors, you speak very highly of you, so we see you here every day, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Since I'm a little calmer, can I come back up?
Yeah.
Sorry about before, I'm a little emotional from before. Two things. Chief, is it right if I answer that question from Senator Skoufis?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Some of you know I'm not aware, Senator Skoufis has been working, and I know there has been a cell tower up there. So on the top of somewhere on Route 6 between 293 and the Circle, so I know if it's not working, maybe the board can, most of you do know because you're shaking your head up there,
Yeah.
but Senator Skoufis has done some work up there with the cell tower. Some cell companies don't have the coverage, is what some of the issues are, but that was, just on the point. last village board meeting, which I was in attendance, and so was, village liaison, Councilman Calori. Some comments were made about the police department, which I took very strong offense to. This town has the best police department in my eyes in Orange County. Am I prejudiced? Yes. Have I known the police department for a very long time, since 1986, since I've been, was an EMT? Of course I do. I know how they work, I know how they operate. And for some of the comments that were made by the village mayor disparaging our police department on what they, and I'm gonna quote him, it's an unwritten policy that the police, Woodbury police, don't give Woodbury residents tickets for speeding. Then he goes on to complain that our town court system is failing because they let Woodbury residents go scot-free. There is a speeding issue, and I know the chief is aware of it. He's doing what he can with the best ability with getting the sign that says what your speed limit is. But this board wasn't at that meeting except for Councilman Calori, and I'm sure he's gonna make a comment because I know how he operates. But for one mayor to complain about our police department, unforgivable. It has to stop. If he doesn't know his proper answers, he should keep his mouth shut. And that's how I feel about it. And in regards to, maybe someone can reach out to, because I just was reading the minutes tonight from the library board director, the director, Sarah. If she's having an issue with Central Valley Building with the heating system, and I know it's been out there for over 6-10 months, maybe someone from this board can, whoever a liaison, can tell her, why doesn't she approach her library board of directors and ask them to use their fund balance money to take care of the heating system? They have the money, taxpayer dollars are in there, it's probably in excess of $400,000 plus of money. They can use that money to put the heating system properly into that building. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about that. Thank you.
Maria, before you
Yes.
sit down, as far as the police department is, the statement you made with the police department, thank you for that. The comments that were made, sometimes you feel that you wanna make a, some of us wanna make a response, and sometimes you just wanna look the other, just rise above it.
Right.
One of the reports that was given today, was our, annual, accounting, report that we have to do every year, and with each department. And it was, done last year, by, Councilwoman Luciani and Councilman Etzel. This year was Councilman and myself. It was very impressive, like we said, all the department heads, and that includes the courts. And what they were able to do this year in the courts and the monies that were generated, it just shows the type of work and the time and effort and the professionalism that the courts have, the people who work at the courts, and the police officers of the town of Woodbury, the work that they do. So, comments like that, sometimes we have to take the high road, and know that what we have and who our police department really is and what they're all about. And that's what I wanted you to know.
I agree with you about taking the high road, and this board has been taking the high road for the last year between the sitting mayor right now, and I do appreciate it, but I had to say something because it was very troublesome to hear this, because I know better how our police department works, and to have said something like that, it wasn't good. But I had let the public know when they see this meeting on how one person takes it and puts it against everybody else, and it's not right. But thank you for your comments. And I think we do have the best town departments, starting from the board, the supervisor, the clerk, all the way down to the beautification committee.
Well, like
It's a plus
Maria,
to me.
before you stood up, we had one of our residents, a gentleman, stand up and ask questions that were excellent questions, and I'm glad he came here and brought them up. Our town clerk answered them, and explained really, I feel that when you're dealing with the planning board, the zoning board, it's the village issue, so we would direct them to the right way, and we would hope that would be reciprocated, and anything that was brought to the village that is a town issue, just steer them back into this direction, that's all. But thank you.
I'll wait here because I'm not with the department report. Everybody else?
Does anyone here have any other comments that anyone else would like to make? Okay, thank you. So I'll move on to board member and department comments. So Maria, you wanna start with yours?
On behalf of the beautification committee members, I'd like to thank the Village Highway Department. Once again, they removed the core from the utility poles. They do an awesome job. I never have to say, hey, let's go. They do it on their own. They have a system and they work well with us. And the only other thing is, Joe Gianzaro, who's my department head, he's aware of this. We went out and got a bid for one of the sheds at the highway garage. Unfortunately, the first shed we ever bought, it's gotta be about 15, 20 years old. And, it's leaking from the roof. So I did get an estimate. Joe is aware of what the cost is. I'm just waiting for the signed paperwork to give it to Joe. And we're going to go forward to replace, it's easier to replace the roof and a few pieces of plywood that need to be replaced. And it'll be done in one day with this company. And so I just wanted the board to be aware of that. That's something that was unexpected that we have to take care of this year.
Thank you. Joe?
Long job.
Okay, let's talk about the heat first, 'cause I don't know what that means to say, but, there was a little while that the heat wasn't working. I had the plumber down there, he got it working, he had to order a part for it, it took a little while to get the part. But he did a cleaning, put a new part in, and unless it hasn't, but nobody's called me in the last 2 or 3 weeks that the heat's on. So, we did take care of it, I don't need to read.
This is the replacement.
But I'm just saying, the heat is on, and whatever they call, we get right on top of it, so, but the heat is fine. First of all, I wanna thank you guys for, hiring Dominic. I said the name wrong, I don't know where I got Coviello from, but it's Bigalotti.
No,
No,
other way
no.
around.
Coviello, sorry, yeah, that's sorry. I don't know what I was thinking that night, but thank you for hiring him, he's gonna be a great addition to our staff. We're not at full strength yet, we'll be back hopefully at the end of the month, he had his shoulder done, so he's mending. As you know, in the Parks office, Fran is out still, she's getting therapy and stuff, so hopefully we'll have her back in the near future also. Just so you know, when you go by the Winter Wonderland, we had to take all the wires out, cause it was so much rain, everything was so wet, it was shortened out. So the Winter Wonderland is out right now, so if you go by, you don't think something happened, we had to just take all the wires out, cause everything was getting sopping wet. Right now, we're doing a lot of cleaning, we just finished down at the police station, we're going down tomorrow to do some more work. We're doing carpets, we're doing floors, we did the court today, we have painting to do. So the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have a lot of little stuff to do, and then hopefully the spring does come and we can get back to, outside work. I just wanna say, I think I've been here about 20 years, so this lady's just a professional, that's all I gotta say, that's all that you need to know. Anybody, I've been in that office, people come in, they call up, very professional. She took care of me for 20 years, a lot of things I didn't know, I went to her, and she guided me along, and she still guides me along, so, again, 20 years I've been here, very professional, and, you know, that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Attorney, Joe Kay, you have anything to say?
No comments.
Chief?
I'm gonna meet with you, I'm going to meet with you after the.
Yeah, we'll have the, police commissioner, meeting after this, when we adjourn. Okay. Do we, Councilman Corey, make some comments?
I got a couple of them. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. On Monday, Councilwoman Luciani, Councilman Finnegan, and I attended the visitation services for Gloria DeLisi. Though I've only met Gloria on several occasions, her commitment to her community was very apparent through her St. Patrick's Church involvement, the Women of Woodbury, and the Golden Age Club. large amount of people that showed up to pay respects to Sue, Ken, and the rest of the family was a testament to how much she meant to this community in Woodbury. So I just want to offer my condolences to her family and friends, and then in our prayers. Secondly, been doing as much research as I can, meeting with department heads, I met with Buildings and Grounds. Being in that field, I understand how important it is to have staff. We've had a very mild winter, but you never know when it can hit, and keep all hands on deck, so I'm happy that we were able to get that done. A couple days ago, I went down and met with the police department, met with Chief Watson, sergeants, the K-9 unit, Officer Sergeant Correa, and got a lot of information. I think I was there for about 2 hours, learned a lot. That's what I'm doing, like a sponge. So I just wanted to thank Chief Watson and the Woodbury Police Department, one of the best police departments in Orange County, if not the best. So we appreciate everything we do for our citizens and for their community, whether it's volunteerism or putting on canine demonstrations or just going about daily business. So thank you for that. I am the village board liaison. I will be at as many village board meetings as I can. I will not be at the next one because that's my wife's birthday. So I will not be at that one. So my intention is to go to these meetings and I'll be there. If you have a question, I'll bring it there. I'll have a chance to speak. I'm not afraid to do it. So I also want to thank Desiree, since I've been here. She's been a wealth of knowledge since the conclusion of the election. So again, thank you very much, Desiree. One more thing. Was out in Cornwall, that's where I work. I really don't, that's where I work. And they have came across this booklet. All right, and it's Welcome to Greater Cornwall, New York. And this is from the 2022. Now, I don't know if this is already being something done with the chamber. If it is, I'd like to participate in the activities of that and the creation of it, if it is. If not, I'd like to talk to whoever I need to talk to make this a reality for the business here in Woodbury. If you ever been to a little beach town, they have these maps with all the attractions and the businesses. Okay, in this particular one, they have Storm King Art Center, the high schools, the roads, everything going on there. On the back are all the businesses with the numbers and locations, so that when people come to our town, they're not just driving through it, they're stopping and supporting our local businesses, which, in case you haven't noticed, I'm all about. Again, I don't know if this is something in the works already. If it is, I'd like to be invited to join. And if it's not, I'd like to work with whoever I need to get it going. That's really all I got. So I'll follow up with Joey. Maria? Afterwards, and we'll get it going. This needs to be in all of our offices. This needs to be in post offices, our schools, our businesses, and Woodbury Commons. Okay, this is where it needs to be.
We're gonna be on the 31st at 8 o'clock
I have a meeting that night.
in the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah, you're working, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you gotta get some of these evenings. Every other month, evening meetings.
You missed the evening one.
Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Finnegan.
I have no comments on it.
Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman Luciani.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Just like Brandon had said, we went today, not today, we went recently to Gloria's Week, and I met Susan a while ago through the Women of Woodbury and just getting connected here in Woodbury. And I met Gloria, who I fell in love with from the second that I met her. She was in my commercials when I ran for state assembly, and she commented all the time, "That's my ear in your picture." And she was just, everybody who knew her, she was a light. She made everybody laugh. And when you would go to the senior center, if it was Valentine's Day, she dressed to the nine with her hearts and her scarf, and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and extremely blessed that I got the time that I had with her to, you know, meet her, and that Susan shared her with me and with all of us. And, you know, it's heartbreaking, and, you know, I think of them, and I think of Susan, and, you know, all that she lost. So I was happy to be there and be with, you know, some of the town board members there, and, you know, pay our respects, you know, to Susan and her family. It was definitely difficult. I also want to thank Desiree. You know, since I've been on the board, you've always sent out every single agenda and wrote any questions come in. You've asked me to come in, you know, early if I had any questions, because I've never been in local politics or anything like that. And so, you know, I appreciate that. And even again, when I ran all the other places I went to, Highland Falls, they all said, "Oh, you have Desiree, and we're so lucky." So, you know, you do a great job. And, you know, I think sometimes in communities, you know, people get upset and things happen, and, you know, it's unfortunate, but we all have to remember that at the end of the day, we all need to work together, you know, for our community. And, you know, I'm gonna be biased, but I do believe our police department is the best police department. You know, I love them all. Chief Watson's been nothing but amazing from the moment that I got on the board, allowing me to come in there. And, you know, a lot of chiefs would not appreciate you walking into their police department. They think of it as their turf. You know, he's never been that way. He's always been welcoming and, you know, allowed me to come in and share any information that I had. And all of, you know, the police officers in our Woodbury Police Department are nothing but professional. And that's the same with our ambulance and our fire department, you know, being the fire recruiter in Woodbury. You know, I consider myself very grateful to be here in Woodbury and have these amazing men and women that are in our community, and that they are our first responders, because they are just, you know, they're incredible people that step up, and they truly are heroes. So, you know, I want to thank them, and I want to thank you, Chief Watson, for the job that you do with our police department. And then the last thing is, I just don't want anybody to forget, Wreaths Across America is still working for next year. As of now, it's buy a wreath, get a wreath for free. We want to make sure that we have enough wreaths for next December. So, you know, Lisa's all around town. She has things on Facebook. So anything that we can remember to do, let's do that. And, you know, February's Valentine's Day, so let's give some love out to everybody. That's it.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Sorry, I just wanna thank all the comments that were made about myself this evening. My door is always open. I have no problem with it. If I make a mistake, I have no problem correcting mistakes. Sometimes people aren't very clear when they speak, and sometimes the sound system, in case you didn't know, doesn't always work at these meetings, and sometimes it's difficult to hear and understand, especially when a lot of people are talking at once. But as Maria did state, and as I confirmed today, the minutes only required, the only thing required in minutes are motions, decisions, and resolutions, both laws and the budget in full. I tend to do a lot more. I did speak to several colleagues of mine throughout the state of New York today. They tend to do a lot less than they do the minimum, obviously, but they don't include a lot of public comment. I do try my best to do that. Again, sometimes people just aren't very clear, but when they call me and tell me I wrote this, but I said this or meant that, I make the correction. I have no problem in making a mistake if it happens, and when it does happen. I appreciate my family being here tonight. Again, my door is always open, my email's always open. My husband gets annoyed when I check my emails on my phone after hours, but I do. Regarding Susan and Gloria, a lot of people in this town, in this community, there's been a lot of change on her, so maybe some of you remember or know that Susan was my first deputy when I became town clerk. Her mother, frequent visitor to the office when she moved up here, made the most amazing rice balls. Were so amazing. She would always bring some for Timmy, my husband, as she called him. Always asked how he was. Wonderful woman. Shared her birthday with my mother. So,
Different age though.
different age. She joined this community and became very much involved with the senior center. Didn't drive, but was able to get around everywhere. Wonderful woman, wonderful lady, and on behalf of my office and staff, that Newman worked with Susan. We send our deepest condolences. And, that's
Thank you. Let me first start off, I have a few comments tonight. I'd like to first send my condolences to Susan and Gloria also, that Gloria we missed. And it was always very big hello and a smile on her face at the senior center, so sorry to hear that. I have two letters I'd like to read. One of the major issues that our board has been working with right off the bat in 2023 has been the Ridge Road Bridge. So I have some things that I'd like to read just quickly. We have two letters where we have submitted the application for a grant. We were informed by road supervisor Rob White, who has been instrumental and very helpful and has been on top of this project. And he has given us great support and leadership with this. We had until the 20th, which is tomorrow, to submit an application, a completed application, with the help of our attorney, Mr. Joe McKay, who's here tonight, our new engineering firm, which this board selected. So this is where we're at. This is a highlight. We have a representative, a person from Highland Lake Estates here too. I'm glad to see her. So this is some information for everyone. This was sent to Region 8 Bridge New York reviewers. That's where we would apply for the grant. Thank you for your consideration of the Town of Woodbury's bridge application. In this cover letter, I would like to highlight the key features of our project and reiterate to the urgencies expressed in both our application and the letter of support prepared by Senator Skoufis, who I also have a letter from Senator Skoufis. The Ridge Road Bridge, built in 1932 and rehabilitated in 99, has undergone a litany of repairs over the years. We've gone through great efforts to maintain the bridge's functionality, but its undersized waterway openings and age stymied those efforts. The structure continues to degrade at a rapid pace. The hydraulic analysis and bridge inspections performed during 2022 have confirmed that it is not worthwhile to once again attempt to revive the existing bridge. It needs to be replaced urgently. The Ridge Road Bridge Replacement Project will invest in the future of Woodbury. Although the Ridge Road Bridge doesn't rise above a vast waterway or at a grand scale, it is innocuous and in appearance belies its importance to our community. It carries Ridge Road, the westernmost roadway connecting the parts of Woodbury north and south of County Route 105. Without this connection, our community loses a critical route for residents, school buses, and emergency service vehicles. The Ridge Road Bridge Replacement Project will permanently restore this route. The Ridge Road Bridge's stone masonry abutment wall failed in early 22, and we closed the bridge to traffic for safety of our community. Because the bridge provides such an essential connection and an alternative route would either direct our residents to our neighbor, Kairos Joel, or through the easterly parts of Woodbury. Even a temporary detour proved infeasible. We therefore procured a temporary bridge, which was installed over the existing bridge to restore vehicle passage between Ridge Road and County Route 105 until we could move forward with a permanent solution. The Ridge Road Bridge Replacement Project is the right solution for our community. The Ridge Road Bridge Replacement Project will not only improve quality of life for Woodbury residents, but it will also improve the water quality of the Woodbury Creek and its tributaries. Steam bank stabilization measures will be incorporated into the bridge replacement, which will mitigate both scouring on the new bridge and pollutant loading in the stream. The project will also right-size the bridge opening. This right-sizing will too mitigate scouring and will also enhance the movement of aquatic life in the waterway. The town of Woodbury is committed to providing an exceptional bridge replacement project. Bridge New York funding will lessen the financial burden on Woodbury residents and will leave more town funds available for our infrastructure improvements. So this is a letter that was put together with, we collaborated with the town board. We've been on this since we received it, and so I just wanted to know that is what we've been working on since January 3rd. I had a phone call, I received a call from Senator Skoufis, who had heard about this, and he was like, he said to me, he said, Tom, is there anything I can do to help the situation? And I said, sure. We had a long discussion, and this is what came from Senator Skoufis' office. Dear Supervisor Burke, I am writing in support of the town of Woodbury's application for Bridge New York funding to replace the Ridge Road Bridge in the town of Woodbury. Through this bridge replacement, the town will permanently restore safe vehicular travel across the stream between Ridge Road and County Route 105. Ridge Road is an important roadway for local residents, school buses, emergency service vehicles. About 2.5 miles north from Central Valley Elementary School and Monterey Woodbury Middle and High School. Ridge Road serves as a key bus route for Monterey Woodbury schools. Without access to Ridge Road, school buses would need to reroute either through the village of Kairos Joel or circle through the easterly portions of Woodbury. Similarly, emergency vehicles such as the Highland Mills Fire Company, Woodbury Community Ambulance rely on Ridge Road as a key access point to the northwesterly parts of Woodbury. And emergency response times would be hampered without access between County 105 and Ridge Road. The replacement of the Ridge Road Bridge with a permanent new structure is critical for ensuring the long-term health and safety of Woodbury residents. I am confident in the town of Woodbury's commitment to its residents, and I believe that this bridge replacement is essential to upholding that commitment. Bridge New York funding will lessen the financial burden of Woodbury taxpayers, leaving more tax funds available for other important infrastructure improvements. I encourage you to look favorable upon this initiative. Senator James Skoufis, 42nd District. So, I just wanted everybody to have an update from our board that we are working tirelessly and we're committed every day to this project. So, I think that's enough for tonight from me. So, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, so we can go into, our police commissioner meeting.
Second.
Okay, good night and thank you everyone.